Hello, and welcome to my capstone presentation. My name is Linda Mae McLemore, and I am working on my Master's in Instructional Technology at Kennesaw State University. I am scheduled to graduate in July of 2019. I received my bachelor's in early childhood education, also from Kennesaw State University, in 2013. I am entering my fifth year teaching second grade at Ferguson Elementary School, located in Gwinnett County, Georgia. Currently, I am the collaborative learning team lead for my grade level. I have also participated as grade level team representative for the E-Class Innovators, our school's technology team, and with our Positive Behavior Intervention Supports, also known as PBIS. Something about me that many may not know. I am originally from Liberia, West Africa, but migrated to the United States as a child. One of the reasons I love teaching second grade and have a heart for English language learners. For my capstone, Differentiating Literacy Using Technology, I wanted to support teachers at my school with a technology tool that they could use to help support the reading challenges within their classroom. ReadWorks is a digital resource that combines reading content, teacher guidance, and integrated tools to improve teacher effectiveness and student achievement. ReadWorks provides online articles paired in which students practice reading comprehension while supporting classroom instruction. With the variety of leveled passages, teachers are able to differentiate their instruction as well as their guided groups. Many teachers that I have spoken with, whether through surveys, in passing, or during staff meetings, have expressed their concerns with the reading abilities for many of their students. Each year, we are faced with students not reading on grade level and still be able to instruct and create learning environments filled with technology. The need to increase students' ability to read and comprehend grade level texts, differentiate literacy, and eventually increase achievement levels on standardized tests is important. Teachers were very concerned that with the expectation at FES to integrate technology in their instruction and learning, finding appropriate resources is overwhelming. They not only need to ensure that resources meet state and district standards and are appropriate for varying readers, but it also needs to be something that can be easily incorporated within their instruction, that is, their lessons, guided groups, and workshop models. Based on the problem, I felt that teachers' struggle stems from not having a digital resource that they felt would work, but also not understanding how to fully utilize the tool to meet their teaching needs. My plan was to train teachers through professional development model using ReadWorks, which would increase the use of technology integration in teaching instruction, differentiation, and student growth, specifically in the area of reading. From the conversations with colleagues and through my various research, I determined the objectives for this capstone project should be as follows. By the end of spring 2019, second grade and third grade teachers who participate in the coaching model of professional development will integrate technology using ReadWorks into their instruction by 30%. Students will increase their district assessment scores by 25% from pre-assessment to end of year as a result of completing one article a week using ReadWorks. To evaluate the effectiveness of my capstone, I used several measurement tools. I conducted peer observation to determine strengths and weaknesses and how teachers utilize the tool within their class instruction and student learning. At the end of the professional development, I used the results from an end of PD survey to determine the effectiveness of the coaching sessions and overall experience. Finally, the data I collected from the English Language Arts District Assessment, the pre and post, allowed me to see students' growth as stated from my objectives. This experience was challenging at times. I began this project with a technology workshop that introduced my colleagues to ReadWorks in January of 2019. Many of the teachers who attended the workshop seemed very interested and felt that they could utilize this tool into their literacy block. Unfortunately, not as many people responded to the survey that was sent out after the workshop. This meant that I did have to spend some time convincing teachers of the benefits of participating in this professional development. After sharing some information with a few teachers, I had 6 teachers choose to join. Each month, beginning in February, I met with teachers either individually or within a small group setting. Our sessions were twice during each month for an hour. For some teachers, we met 3 times per their request. At each session, we focused on either creating classes on ReadWorks, finding content, differentiating the articles, integrating into class instruction, or using the assessment tool provided in the digital resource. The purpose for me during these sessions was to model the use of the resource. This gave me the opportunity to know beforehand some challenges that teachers would experience as they used the tool within their classroom and allow me to maximize our session together and avoid wasting teachers' valuable time. I gave teachers time during our session to practice what I modeled. I facilitated and answered questions as needed. Then it was time for teachers to set their goals for what they hoped to implement. It was important that teachers felt comfortable with the tool before we left each session, and if they still had questions, we utilized Padlet between the sessions to answer questions. The observations were also very tricky. At times, I would observe teachers or students using ReadWorks, but not necessarily how it was to be utilized from their goals sheets. Through our follow-up sessions, we would look back on what worked and what didn't. We were then able to determine the next steps moving forward. One of the last things we had a chance to do during our professional development was to create a lesson, new or previously made, where teachers could apply ReadWorks within their mini lessons or their small group instruction. We looked at how they could follow Gwinnett County's architecture of a mini lesson and maximize their instructional time. At the end of this project, participants completed a survey, completed an article use spreadsheet, and reviewed their students' district assessment scores with me. So, as I think back, I look at whether or not our objectives were met. Well, for objective 1, to remind you all, it stated that by the end of spring 2019, teachers who participated in the coaching model would increase integrating technology using ReadWorks into their instruction by 30%. I would like to say that according to the spreadsheet that the teachers turned in, this goal was met. All 6 teachers increased technology use into their instruction by 60%, and I was very excited. When I look back at Objective 2, let me remind you, Objective 2 stated that students would increase their district assessment scores by 25% in ELA from pre and post by completing 1 article a week using ReadWorks. Well, according to that objective, it was not met. According to the end of year district scores, only 1 teacher out of 6 who participated scores increased by 25%. For the other 5 teachers, however, their students did still increase on average of 15 to 19%. I was very pleased with the results from my capstone. As I think back on this capstone, I feel that I provided teachers with a technology resource that they could actually use within their classrooms. They were trained in using the online features of this resource, learned to differentiate the articles for their small group lessons, and were able to integrate it within their instruction. There was also a downside to this project. With initiatives already in place at Ferguson Elementary, teachers' ability to stay consistent with yet another thing, like ReadWorks, proved to be very difficult. They felt overwhelmed often. The excitement for ReadWorks slowly decreased as testing time rolled around. Teachers no longer had access to digital devices like they did in the beginning. Despite these challenges, teachers did express that they grew in knowledge and skill and would be interested in continuing this professional development in the upcoming year. One thing I will say as a technology leader, one thing that I have learned is to be flexible, staying committed and consistent to the professional development despite anything that continues around your school. Another thing I will say is not every digital tool or resource works for your school and your teachers. Learn your participants and provide them with what they need, even if that deviates from your original plan. Here are my references, and I thank you for watching and listening to my Capstone